So you're probably here because you're either curious about my situation, my weight, or you might be interested in if whatever I did can help you. Let me tell you what, folks. What has gone on for me has been completely life-changing. And it's all about tiny little changes, one at a time. I've got a list. I've got stuff I want to show you. But hey, let me start out by saying this. I'm Brad. I'm 51 years old. About 6 months ago, I realized a lot had to change. I was pushing 298 pounds, unhealthy. I have bad rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis. I have a weird blood sugar issue and high blood pressure. And I made some changes. And right now, knock on wood, today I am 252 pounds. Now, I say I've lost 40 pounds. And I say that not to try to deceive you. I say that because things fluctuate up and down, but it's a steady down. And I want to tell you about how I got there. I got a list. And hopefully this can be a blessing to you for a couple reasons. Not just to say, hey, wow, Brad, way to go. High fives. Good job. I appreciate those things, but also that whatever I've gone through, maybe it can help you. Now, I got to say this for all the legal junk. I'm not a doctor. I'm just sharing with you what I did. Any kind of health stuff, you got to talk to your doctor. That way I don't get sued and you get the right information. This is just what I did. Could help you, but you won't know until you talk to your doctor. Okay, so here's what happened. 298 pounds ago. Serious health issues, guys. I'm looking at my kids thinking, am I going to make it to 55? It was tough. So here's what I did, and I'm gonna start sharing with you guys the journey, because as things get better or worse, I'm gonna share them with you, and then you can decide for yourself if what I'm doing may or may not help you. Talk to your doctor. Okay, list. So here's the thing. First thing I did was lots of water. I started drinking a lot of water. I started out at a half gallon of water in addition to whatever I was drinking every day. And I'm probably up to close to about a gallon of water throughout the whole day. For me, I found that it really flushed my system out a lot. That was like step one, because I got to tell you, folks, if you try to do all these things all at once, it's going to be a problem. And generally, if you try to take too many big steps all at once, you're going to fail. Well, I knew I would. Maybe you're like the uber awesome, I can do anything guy, and I don't ever make mistakes. Well, that's not me. So I had to take small steps little by little. So water was a big thing. Water combined with, I realized my personal big thing was sugar. I mean sugar, processed sugar. And ladies and gents, it's in everything. I mean everything. Start looking at the ingredients on the stuff you eat and drink. You want to see scary? Look at the can of a soda. Like, pick your brand, Pepsi Cola, doesn't matter, Coke, whatever. You start looking at the amount of sugar that's in one of those. Wow. That's all I got to say. And I started realizing the amount of sugar intake I had. And that was the biggest thing. The single biggest thing was sugar in terms of what I ate. Then I started, I didn't cut it out completely. And believe it or not, I still have dessert once in a while, like every few days. Or if we're lucky and we get to go to like a fast food joint, I only pick a fast food joint that has actually whole foods. But I might have a dessert somewhere. But it's not every day. It's not twice a day. It's every 3 or 4 days. And I cut it down to a small thing. And then I know that I'm going to have to pay for that in terms of other side, like extra exercise or more water and extra exercise. But sugar was my biggest thing. But I don't count calories, really. I don't look at the backs of labels to freak out and think, oh my gosh, that's going to be... Bottom line is this, folks. Raw foods. Whole raw foods. Then I don't worry about what I'm looking at. I do look at the backs of the labels mainly just to see what kind of processed garbage is in them. And if it's processed garbage, that was one of the big things. Sugar, gotta go. Like, as much as I love it, I think that's probably my big addiction, is processed sugar. But as I started to cut beverages out, and as I started to cut the amount of just sugar and everything, and switched over to raw foods. I didn't start out four on the floor. I'm a musician, so that's like a drumming term. I didn't start like that, but I started out just little bits. And it was not so painful a jump. But you got to start. That's really the key, folks, is you got to start. There's no way around it. You got to look at where you're at and say, okay, I am dangerously, for me, I was dangerously going to end my life sooner with the way that I was eating and my body and yada, yada. I'm sure a lot of you guys know. But that said, I looked at that and I said, dang, Brad, I got to lose close to 100 pounds, if not 100 pounds. I got to get down to like 200 pounds. Because here's a little secret. I am not interested in becoming a triathlete. I'm not interested in becoming a reed that blows in the wind. I just want to be healthy. I want to stick around for my kids. I want to see grandkids and play. I want to be able to get outside and do stuff in our little farm. So that was my goal. My goal was life, not a pound or a certain thing. I just want to get to healthy. So sugar, looking at your processed foods, try to get rid, if it has a bunch of words on it that you can't pronounce, I wouldn't eat it. It's not really going to be good for you. So that, here's some of my notes. Just regular whole foods. Eat more protein, veggies, less butter, duh. I mean, I'm not cutting butter out. I really don't. But here's the thing. You may notice that I'm sitting on one of these do-hitchamabobbers. There's a treadmill right there. And let me tell you what, folks. You can pick up treadmills cheap right now. Why? Because everybody's quit their New Year's resolutions. It's sad. But you can pick up a treadmill for either free or $50. And we actually just we burned through the first treadmill that we had, myself, my wife, and my kids, that we bought for lots of money years ago. And then we never really used it until about 6 months ago. And we have put so many miles on it that we actually burned through the tread. So we just got a new one, new to us, for $50. You can find this equipment for free or cheap. Right now, look on Craigslist or Facebook or wherever you look. But we started exercising. That was the thing. And here's what I want to tell you. Don't overdo it. When I started out, I could barely do a few minutes. Okay, great. Water, sugar reducing, less processed food. Now I'm exercising. Now I'm exercising to where it starts out like it might be 10 minutes and just very little weight. Could be 10 pounds, could be 20 pounds, whatever you got. I did my legs, I did my arms, and then I personally started out really with the treadmill. Why? Because it's cardio. Again, you talk to your doctor. Nobody needs to get hurt because they heard Brad say it, okay? But get up. Do something. I don't care if it's walking around your house to start out with. Do something, or else you're going to end up sitting there. And it's not going to get worse unless you make it up in your mind that you're going to do it. Exercise. Start with something. Start little, but then don't stop. That's really, really important. Other things that I did. Okay, so for those of you who may know, we live in Wisconsin, and I think it's kind of the law that when you enter Wisconsin, through the actual state checkpoints and stuff, you're issued cheese curds and some beer. I had to cut out the beer because there's a load of sugar in it, and that was one of my things. I mean, I wasn't like getting schmammered, all that kind of stuff, but there's too much alcohol or too much sugar in alcohol for me. I needed it to be gone. And so, little by little by little, there you have it. A lot of water. Now here's another one. Start cooking the meals that you eat. And by that I mean use individually named ingredients. Okay, if I want to have a vegetable medley, I'm going to cut up the carrots. I'm going to put the broccoli in there. I'm going to make the squash, or I'm going to grill the squash, or I'm going to do this or that. I'm not going to get it from a box or a weird combo cheesed up, processed, not even real cheese, goopy bag. Even though they're delicious. Don't get me wrong. I am not that guy who's going, no, they're far better to eat, blah, blah. No, I know it tastes good. But you got to weigh it out. What's more important? And if the taste of it's better than what you're going to have to do, well, then I guess that's between you and your kids and your spouse and God. So, we're going to talk more and more about how I did it. That's the overview. That's the overview. But you're going to see me. I'm going to show you guys. And if you want to see how big I was, go back and look at some videos. Go back and look at some videos. Also, another thing. So the sugar, the water, processed foods. And if I have to eat a thing that's like on the go food, I'll choose something that's like actual real food, like these. This is literally 3 ingredients. And I know a lot of people don't have any or have issues with peanut butter, but it's basically what? I think it's figs. There's dates. I always get that wrong. I don't know why. It's dates and peanuts and sea salt. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if you can see that or not. But choosing what goes in your body is really important. Lots of water. Start exercising. I'll show you what I did. Hopefully this is a blessing to you. But let me tell you what, here's the big deal, folks. You can do it. You can do it. It can be done. I'm living proof of it. I'll show you what I've done, and hopefully you can do it as well. But you got to start. Step 1, just get up and do something. I don't care if it's just walk around. Just get up and do something. That's it. I'm Brad. You guys have an amazing and blessed day. We'll see you. Bye-bye then.